Oh, I'm sore all over.
I have achy joints today.
Do they grind a little?
They do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very grindy.
Maybe you should do some stretches today. And watch some Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah, he'll make me feel better.
Yeah. No. He'll show you what you are capable in the human body.
I have a different body.
Yeah. Yeah, my body sees this and is like, that time has passed.
Yeah, no.
If it ever was there at all.
If I was going to do that, I should have done it when I was a baby. Because at this point, that ship has sailed.
I did not allocate those skill points into that skill tree, so...
I kept dumping them into intelligence until I realized intelligence was useless and it didn't actually build any intelligence. I just have more conversation options. Anyhow.
Should have used your abs more.
I only have one ab now. It does okay. It's just one big jiggly ab. So hi, welcome Behind the Hype. With me, the host, is always Brian Dressel. With me, as always, is Chewy Darso.
Hello.
And Jonathan Hardesty.
Bringing that high quality content your way.
Oh yeah, man. Content has been like the word of the weekend. I think I've said content more than any other word in like the past 3 days.
We're starting to talk like professionals.
I think I've been listening to that Bo Burnham song
We
too much.
need to make more content.
Yeah. Content. Is it explicit content?
It's crowd-pleasing content.
Oh, that's so good. Everybody loves crowd-pleasing content.
We do.
I already said hi and welcome Behind the Hype. Whatever.
After the hype, yeah, we got it.
We're there. This week we are talking Police Story, Jackie Chan's 1986 directorial maybe debut. I actually didn't look that up.
I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either, but now that I'm thinking, I guess I felt like I should have looked it up before we started talking about it. I honestly didn't know he had directed this before we even chose it, and now that we're here, oh yeah, no, he'd been directing for a long time before this. But Jackie Chan's directorial film, Police Story, winner of Hong Kong's Best Film, winner of multiple accolades over here in the States. Most people consider it one of, if not one, the best action films ever made, some of the best stunts ever. Still has what most stuntmen consider one of the most impressive and amazing stunts ever in a film, if you're not counting a different Jackie Chan film, of course. One that we're going to talk about next week, as a matter of fact. That stunt, if you're not following with me, is the mall stunt when he jumps on the pole and slides down like 10 stories through a whole bunch of lights and glass and everything, and holy shit. And then just because it's so holy shit, the movie's like, we're just going to show it 3 times.
We're going to show it 3 different angles.
Yeah. Do you have any idea how awesome this was? What he did? Yeah, we're just going to keep showing it. It doesn't make any sense logically, but just look at how cool it is.
He didn't get electrified.
I mean, it is really cool. The problem is that it's really cool in a movie full of really cool things. But before we get too far down into this, I feel like we should do it will be easy, a very quick breakdown of what Police Story is about. Who went last week?
John.
I did.
John. Chew's turn.
Police Story. It is a story about a bunch of policemen who need to apprehend this one guy. I forgot everyone's names in this movie except for May, I think.
Yeah, I remember May.
That's it.
May the idiot. Break up with Jackie Chan,
Yeah.
May. You deserve better.
So they come up with a scheme to do a sting, and the sting goes awry, and there's a shootout, and then there's a let's drive through the town moment. And once they're done driving through the town, Jackie Chan chases the bad guy into a bus.
You should clarify. It's not just through the town.
No, it's through the town.
Yeah, it's through the town.
I'm being literal.
There's no more town.
And he chases a bus. He jumps on the bus. He gets the bad guy. But the bad guy's got some real good lawyer. And once they get to the time to prosecute him, the lawyer's is like, well, did you see him the whole time? Well, no, I was chasing him. There was stuff happening. Well, if you couldn't see him the whole time, then maybe you got the wrong guy. And that defense works. And within that, Jackie Chan's supposed to be a bodyguard for this one girl who is a family friend of the bad guy.
His secretary.
Well, he was a family friend for her, and then she became a secretary.
Oh, I missed that
Yeah,
part.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
caught the secretary. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I missed the family friend part.
And so he decides that since the police are wanting to use her as a witness, he's going to try to kill her. It takes a while for her to believe that, but then when she does, she goes on the run, and at one point, the bad guys blackmail Jackie Chan for killing a cop who was actually a bad guy as well.
Yeah.
And Jackie Chan has to prove his innocence by destroying them all. And it works.
And it works.
Yeah.
I mean, in all fairness, he does end up a traffic cop after this. Like it works, but he does get quite demoted.
And within there, you have his relationship with May, who I don't know if he kidnapped her at one point, but she's got some severe Stockholm syndrome.
I don't get it.
Where she is just being, he treats her terribly. She tries to get away at one point, and then he yanks her off her bike.
Yeah.
Which could have really hurt her.
How she didn't break her tailbone is beyond me.
Yeah.
The one moment I gasped in this movie.
And then in the middle of the destroying the mall, he tells her to go get the bad guy's briefcase, and then she gets thrown down 2-3 flights of stairs.
3 flights of stairs.
And I'm like, yeah, May, you need to not be. This is a bad relationship.
Bad. And good thing she reprises her role in the sequel, and she's still dating him. May, you could do better.
Do better.
I know he's impressive. I watched all those stunts too, but you can do better.
Lots of impressive men are shit lovers.
And it feels sort of bad. Like, this is definitely like a product of its time and, different culture, yada, yada, yada. But still watching it from our eyes, it's just like, especially that scene when he brings in, what's her name? Selena. And like he's in the shower and she's like, hey, say something nice about your girlfriend. She's here to surprise you. And he's just like, yeah, I don't really love her. I mean, she's fine, but whatever. But, like, I could just find someone. I just got to start smooth talking, and everyone's just going to, like, drop pants for me. I'm the best.
And you can't say nice things about it, because that'll give her ideas.
Yeah, you don't want to fill her head up with, like, oh, I'm definitely not going to leave you. Like, he's just awful to
Terrible.
her. Otherwise, he's a pretty good guy. He's a great cop. I mean, horrible for the city, but he gets the job done.
He's a great cop the same way an Avenger's a good cop.
I was going to say more like John McClane is a good cop. Like, oh, yeah, he did a great job, but, New York is broken.
You broke it, dude. You destroyed it.
Yeah, that city you love, you ruined. And the same can be said for Jackie Chan in this movie. He might love the city, but he fucks it up. Especially that mall. That poor God. Whoever is into selling glass loves Jackie Chan at the end of this.
Whoa.
Glass stock just went like way up.
Whoa. I want to talk about the mall scene. Like, I was gonna save it for the end, but it's just so fucking cool. Like John and I were just very briefly talking before this, and maybe we'll get into it, maybe we won't. I really, really, really enjoyed this movie, but I just couldn't help thinking that it was dumb as rocks. Like it's just.
I mean, it's just because the defense is supposed to work.
That's where they lost
keep
me.
your eye on him the whole time, therefore he's innocent.
And cut to Jackie Chan literally hanging off the side of a bus on like a rope, just like, "Arr!" And it's like, yeah, no, he wasn't able to keep an eye on him because he's doing something impossible. It's like, okay, I get it. Yeah, that'd be tough, but this defense is awful.
Awful. But it
Yeah,
works.
I wasn't really expecting the courtroom drama to show up in this movie. That was called A Police Story with Jackie Chan, and then to have it be so awful. Yeah, the defense works, and then he screws it up so badly. There's a level of where it's like in Drunken Master, his kind of ne'er-do-well-ness, his kind of rascally attitude is kind of endearing if you look at it from a turn your eyes a little bit over here. It's like, okay, yeah, no, we can forgive it. This is just like, he's a schmuck who can fight well. And then we're supposed to really like him. And then it's like, oh, forget about it. There's a mall fight coming up here. This is great.
I really
This is
like
amazing.
him, as long as he's not dating anyone.
Yeah, celibacy is the way to my heart for him.
You're married to your job.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like, that's the thing is like, yeah, the character dumb. He's just a dumb cop. But and then like the plot points, there's a lot of really dumb plot points in it. But man alive, when the action gets going, it's fucking incredible.
I loved the sequence with the friend who pretends to be a murderer trying
Oh
to
my
kill
God.
Selena. It reminded me a lot of Scream,
Yes.
the way
yeah.
he moved around with a knife.
Especially because I wasn't in on the joke for the first few minutes. I'm like, man, this guy sucks at murder.
Yeah, I thought that too, and I was very I already was kind of not on board with some of these details as they were coming out. And I'm like, this is weirdly bad. And then he's just like not killing her well, and like she fell over and he's standing up, and then he's falling onto the ground and like wobbling after her. I'm like, what is going on with this? And then of course he loses his mask. I'm like, oh, it's him. It's the friend.
At
And then I
first we
kind
were
of cued
confused.
into
We're
it, but it
like,
took
"Wait, he's a
forever.
bad guy?"
I cued in, but it was more so just like, oh, okay, oh, okay, and then pieces started falling. Maybe they did get me for a moment, but it was kind of like, it's just kind of a weird thing, and there might be something lost in translation there. That's very, very possible, including the court scene that we're ragging on rather hard. There could be something lost in translation, and the translator was just like, fuck it, I don't know, maybe it wasn't him. Good enough. But anyhow, the action sequences.
Yeah, with that whole... I'm impressed that he was able to be so comedic of being a blundering fake murderer, but also impressed that within that, he didn't stab himself.
Yeah.
And he managed to still not stab her, even though usually in those situations, someone gets stabbed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then
At least in my experience.
Then the dancing with his... not corpse when he gets knocked out by the vases, and then
that's so funny.
She just keeps hitting him over the head with stuff, and Jackie Chan's trying to pass.
Don't pass out! Don't pass out! Don't pass out! It's just like,
You got this, man. You got this.
she just comes behind with another vase, just bang!
Like, you're killing your friend.
And it's like, it's moments like that where I'm like, man, this part's dumb, and then Jackie Chan just comes in with Jackie Chan-ness, and it's like, holy God, he is funny. His physical comedy's so good, and the stunts are still great.
Yeah.
Like, so I can see why people love this movie, but it did take a little bit for me to get into.
Yeah, it was very roller coaster that way.
Plot.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you guys said, I was all smiles and all just into a hell yeah mode when it was the action.
Yeah.
But then in the moments between where the plot stuff and the wordy word stuff happened, I was like, I don't dig this at all. Like, negative dig this, dude. And then it was back to him, his amazing choreography. His comedic timing is just off the charts in this. So, yeah, I guess so. But it's such a weird package that surrounds this gem.
But let's talk a little bit about this action stuff. I said I want to talk about them all, and I guess we should go back to it. There is some... I'll compare it very, very briefly to Drunken Master. Drunken Master is, by and large, a very long collection of one-on-one fights. There's a little variation to that, but for the most part, no. It's mostly one-on-one fights. And then in Police Story, it could not be any more the opposite. It's one on however many they can fit into the room against the one. And... that is just, especially the way Jackie Chan, and I'm sure he has a choreographer working with him, especially the way they work together in both like the action and the choreography, is just an utter joy to watch. Like that whole tactile, like anything around Jackie Chan can be a weapon. That's all on display. The way he just kind of rolls around people and he's punching one guy while kicking another guy. And it's just all over the place. And when you get to that mall scene, everything that you've been kind of seeing throughout, these like very cool action sequences, like there's car chases, there's bus chases, there's fights, it's everything. It all comes together in this one monumentous action sequence where they're like, all right, we've done everything. Like everything's in this movie. How do we up this? Let's start chucking each other through glass.
A lot. Lots of glass.
A lot of glass. The glassiest mall I've ever seen in my life.
But outside of the glass... it did have a wonderful, like you said, Jackie Chan moment of anything's a weapon.
Yeah.
And I particularly enjoyed it when he got on the clothing rack.
Mm-hmm. Oh, God, that was amazing.
Swinging along on it, and then he flipped it over, hit a guy with it, flipped it over again, just flung on it. I'm like, that's great.
Oh, yeah.
That was fantastic.
And, like... I love that. Like, I'm not sure when the bloopers actually started. I always remember them from a kid. Like that was the only thing I liked from Jackie Chan movies. The few that I saw was I'd always just like fast forward to the bloopers because I just loved seeing Jackie Chan both screw up, and I loved seeing how fine he was with screwing up. It kind of like made me feel okay with screwing things up. But like you watch the things like the clothing rack, and it's like, you know, he fucked this up 100 times, and we get to see the one time it worked.
Yeah.
But the one time it worked, it looks so fucking cool. You don't give a shit about the 100 times it didn't. But
Yeah,
I feel the
and
same way about the glass. Like, how are half these stuntmen not dead? Granted, in the bloopers, you do
In
see
the
them.
bloopers, they have multiple times of them just carrying people away.
Just so many
Yes.
shots. I'm just like, all right, this one's dead. Bring in the next.
Yeah, that was a bit sobering at the end of this, as I'm like, like hell yeah, on the action sequence, and then they cut to the credits with the bloopers. I'm like, oh, people are getting really hurt.
They're really getting hurt.
It was almost like tossing some cold water on me, like after watching this, because I'm just like, oh, damn, I'm sorry,
I
I'm
even
sorry,
had
I enjoyed your hurt.
within my my set deck feelings, because I really enjoyed the lit white stairs that they had for a shoe display that they just smash a guy into. I'm like, no, that was a really good display.
Not anymore.
Pretty much any room they went into, you're like, oh, that's really cool. It's gone.
I really kind of want to rewatch it and be like, is there a reason there's a motorcycle in here? Because I thought they were just in sports apparel. So
Yeah, where did the motorcycle
I
come
don't
from?
know.
I was a little tired when I was watching this. Cards on the table. We have to watch movies rather late, but at the same time, I don't remember where the motorcycle came from. But suddenly they're fighting with a
The
motorcycle.
bad guy had a motorcycle.
He had
and
a
Jackie
motorcycle.
Chan got a motorcycle.
And then I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. But hey, look how cool it is.
Isn't that just the thing, though? You come at Jackie Chan with a motorcycle, and then he has the motorcycle.
Maybe it was one of those in the walkway win this vehicle things. I don't know.
I mean, maybe those don't usually have gas in them, but in this movie they
In
did,
the
so
movie
it worked.
they do.
Yeah. It's just what's amazing about this is just how we can't overstate it enough how exciting the sequence was from beginning to end. And I didn't realize by the end of this that I was sitting at the edge of my seat, leaning forward, and just like, oh yes, hell yes, like almost ready to jump out of my chair with how much excitement this scene was giving me. It was crazy to see.
And it's not the only one. Like, you go back to the beginning of the movie with like the car chase that leads to the bus chase that leads to the Jackie Chan chasing a bus chase. Like, like just watching him run full speed down like a very steep hill. That alone was entertaining to me. I'm like, I would have been on my ass in 2 seconds, and he's just run. Like, holy shit, he's good.
I could probably run down that hill. I would not be able to land on anything.
Oh no.
The moment I needed to stop running down the hill is when I would fall.
Yeah, no, I would go down that hill one way or the other.
I mean, yeah, gravity would definitely do me a lot of favors getting to the bottom of the hill. But then, like, you even
I'll
see
help
him,
you out, bro.
you see him get to the bus, and like everything with the bus is amazing. Like him literally hanging off the side of a speeding bus, and not just like, oh, he's attached to the bus. He's attached to something that's attached to the bus. So he's like, his body
It was
is
an
just.
umbrella. Right?
It was an umbrella. Yeah, that's right.
It was an umbrella, yeah.
Holy fuck! Just holding on to an umbrella as he's just swinging off the side of a bus, and it's just like, fuck, this is cool.
Oh yeah, and then it's punctuated by him standing in front of it as the bus like stops inches away from him, and like the enemies just fly out the front. Like,
And those-
it's perhaps one of the most punctuated endings to an action scene I've ever seen.
And the best thing about those enemies flying at the bus, like, if this film was made in America, you better believe those enemies flying out of the bus would be a bunch of dummies.
No, those are real people.
Oh no, those are real people in the Jackie Chan movie. That is a moving bus. They go through a plate of glass onto the ground on their heads. And they just get up and like, yep, being a stuntman's cool.
Ouch.
I like in the bloopers where he almost gets hit by the bus.
Oh yeah, he's just standing in front of the bus and like, nope, too fast.
Move it to the side.
Yeah, that was a delightful call back to that, and I was just like, okay, that's humanizing. Like you said, just okay, everyone goofs up.
Oh yeah.
You know, even his joints feel a little cranky sometimes.
How much time do you think Jackie Chan would take off after like making one of these movies? I imagine he'd take off like at least a month, right?
No, the way I know Jackie Chan.
Oh, you and him go way back?
He likes to know.
My bud.
I just see him as a 12-hour turnaround type of guy.
Oh, I could definitely see that. Yeah. All right, what are we doing next? How are you not dead? I'm tired, and I was just sitting at Crafty all day.
I'm breathing heavy over here at the chair.
I'm tired just looking at you standing there. What else haven't we hit in this movie? We talked about the mall, talked about the bus.
The beginning, the opening.
Well, the opening is dramatic.
Very.
You have his boss with his big stick and his slideshow going, these are the bad guys. This is where we're going. And then they each get their their individual assignments, and then they have to shred their assignments right away. And after he says that, I'm like, wait, does anyone know what the other one's doing?
A, does anyone know what the other one's doing? And B, like, they're telling me to memorize this sort of stuff. I'm not very good at memorization. So I'd be like, all right, I'm going to shred this, but I also made a copy.
Yeah. Short-term Steve is screwed. I'll tell you that. But no, it was so dramatic, like you said, and just everything was so, like, the music was tense. There was such build-up, so much goddamn build-up. And I was, again, at the edge of my seat. This happens a lot with this movie. It's great. But just the build-up to this, to then one guy just screwing it up, and then them driving through the city. It was a very fascinating way to start it for me.
And they all have the same pistols, which I thought was, or revolvers.
Yeah.
Which I
budget.
admittedly only know very basic things about guns, but what I think I do know about those type of guns is they're not great for aiming.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
I don't think they are. So it would be weird that you guys would just be shooting all of these guns just at each other where there's children.
Yeah. My God, the gunfights in this movie are just hilarious. Like this movie really, for some reason, struck a Bad Boys 2 vibe with me. I don't know why, but like the shootouts kind of felt like Bad Boys 2. The drive through the town kind of felt like Bad Boys 2. Like, there's just a lot of moments that just kind of rang that for me. Maybe Michael Bay was watching Police Story when he made Bad Boys 2. I don't know. He would never fucking admit it.
He would
but
totally be a fan.
But, like, there's a lot in this movie that I could see happening there. But the way the shootouts happen is just... It's something that I don't really get to see a lot of, which is just pure fucking chaos. Like, the way they fire their guns at each other is just, like, total reckless abandon. Just, all right, I'm going to hit something if I just keep pulling the trigger. Whee! And it's like, oh, God, this is frightening.
It almost provided a weird sense of realism.
They were using Smith & Wesson Model 36.
Oh, that means nothing to me.
Oh, those ones that don't shoot very well.
Your lefty anti-gun nut over here knows jack shit about guns, which I'm sure a lot of people just got mad at me for saying lefty anti-gun nut.
But yeah, no,
there was
something.
No, I'm looking it up. I'm very curious as to whether or not these guns are appropriate for using in the fashion that they used in this movie.
Well, clearly, according to the movie, they weren't, because those guys were just firing and hoping to hit.
Yeah, very few people are actually shot in this.
Yeah,
they fire like mad.
Then there was the one police officer who just had a whole arc within this beginning of the movie where he was like, I can't kill people, I can't shoot people, and then he does, and then he pisses himself.
Oh, I forgot about him pissing himself. That poor guy. Yeah,
but like, it was weird. I really felt for him, actually. It was kind of played comedically as they kept coming back to it, and the peeing at the end was a bit goofy, but man, the editing was perfect for that. Like, very dramatic. And I was weirdly like on his side, like, oh man, so like either his first day on the job or his first kill or his first gunfight, and he's freaking out and like, get it together. I was immersed.
I mean, there is something to say about the quality of directing that Jackie Chan has here. Like, he has legitimate comedy moments. Obviously, the action's going to be fine. You never worry about action with a Jackie Chan movie unless you're watching, like, The Spy Next Door, which I saw in theaters. Thank you, Chewie.
Which one?
Spy Next Door.
Oh, it had its moments.
Did it?
I don't really remember the movie.
That's the point. The only good moment in that thing is Jackie Chan trying to make oatmeal and going, huh? It's a funny moment. That's it. But like when he has to have like his sincere, or I'll say sincere, but like serious moments, he doesn't fail at them. Like, they still work, especially at the end of the movie when he's like trying to prove his innocence. None of that is played for laughs. Like, as soon as Jackie Chan's on the defense and trying to prove his innocence, it's a very serious movie just with total bananas action. But they don't really ever falter from that. Like, when you start paying attention to the plot of, like, she's got a briefcase with the proof in it, but I thought she was the proof because she's the witness. What's the briefcase for again? And you know what?
Paper.
It's a MacGuffin that they're after. Don't worry about it. Look at Jackie Chan jump on that thing, and then you're fine again. Like, see,
you can be relatively certain that in the universe of this movie, that if she didn't have this documentation on printed paper, if they tried to use her as a witness, they'd be like, are you sure with your woman brain you remember this correctly?
I gotta say, I'd believe her more if she had a penis.
Yeah.
Right.
They would totally use
or
that
are
as
you
their
sure you
defense.
saw that data?
Are you
Are you sure you saw the data from the side?
How literate are you?
When's your time of the month? Just
Were
asking.
you
Just
emotional
asking.
when you read that?
Oh, the great the.
So no, she was
have to-
thinking. She's a smart lady.
That's fair.
She's getting it down on paper. She downloaded it. She's getting his data. I don't remember exactly what he said. Did he say my data's being stolen?
Yeah, my
or-
data's
Yeah.
being stolen.
Yeah.
Which you
Yeah.
know, I work in tech. I can say that much, and
Yeah.
we deal a lot with shared storage, and it's very very difficult to manage shared storage. I mean, I shouldn't say very difficult. It is sometimes. In 2021, it's a little difficult to manage shared storage. I'm gonna keep reiterating that because this is very shared storage in fucking 1986. I
Yeah.
don't think it would have worked quite like this, but that's fine.
You can have a little bit of science fiction in this movie. That's fine.
I mean, that's kind of what you have to do with this movie. Whenever your brain's like, that doesn't make sense, it's like, did you want it to, or did you want to enjoy the movie?
It's fine.
Make a
Yeah,
choice.
It was just data points to connect the action sequences together, and honestly, like coming at this, thinking about it a couple days after the fact of watching it, I'm okay with that. For as dumb as the story was, I didn't care anyways about the story. I honestly can say I was here for the action sequences, and the movie delivered in spades. So I have to wrestle with that, like having the whole thing be cohesive. It's like, well, no, like you put it, it was terrible and amazing.
Yeah, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's also kind of terrible, but I'm so happy I watched it. Like,
Yeah.
I loved it. Will I go back to it? I'm not sure, but I do
Yes,
kinda,
I probably would actually, to be honest, just for how
mean,
much joy that gave me.
I probably would. At least I'd go back to scenes from it. Like, I guarantee I'll rewatch scenes from it. And I will say it did give me enough interest to watch the sequel, at least part 2. I've heard part 2 is really good. After that, they get a little shaky. Like, he was making them all the way to like 2006, I think there was one that came out, maybe even 2013. There's a TV show. Like, they milked this property for all it's worth.
Yeah.
Can't blame them. It worked. But I am curious to see like where this went next. Like, I like the idea of Jackie Chan being busted down to like traffic cop because of everything that happened in this movie. Because it's like, yeah, that makes sense. You broke them
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, and also you were very terrible at your phone
You
job.
broke a mall
Yeah.
when malls were at their height of popularity.
Yeah, you ruined people's day.
Yeah.
And can we just talk about that phone job that he had with the physical comedy? It felt
Oh
so
my
very
God.
classic Hollywood style of just like something Buster Keaton or Charlie Chaplin would come up with. Just in terms of the phone gag, like some of the concerns that the people had on the phone were a bit shocking.
Oh yeah.
And you don't make a joke of that anymore these days.
Right.
That's not something that's funny.
It's
But
funny to show how callous he is to women's needs.
yeah, apparently. And it's wrapped up in this very like funnily, like hilariously choreographed sequence with phone cords.
Oh yeah.
I mean, anyone today would be like, what are phone cords? My God.
yeah, just put them on hold, dude. You don't need one phone.
I got a little distraught when he decided to use the pencils for his chopsticks.
Oh,
That is
yeah,
not sanitary. No. You
and I
ate an
knew he was going to
eraser.
lose the erasers.
Of
I
course
knew he was going to lose the erasers.
Of course he was.
I'm like, well, they're maybe organic. I don't really.
They're gonna go right through
Yeah,
him.
you're gonna be fine.
He'll be fine. He'll have one moment sitting in the toilet going, "Oh, what the hell was that?" and he'll be fine.
God. I can't help but think about this movie now as we're talking about it and just laugh at parts. I'm just
It's
continuing
funny.
laughing at parts.
Jackie Chan's comedy. I mean, it's very Buster Keaton-y,
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, it's just good. It's gonna be kind of tough to pick a favorite part in this movie because there's so many great ones. But let's do what we can. What's favorite parts for this one?
Despite all the action, I think a favorite part for me would be the drive with him and Selena after the car fight, where the door is just attached to the top of the car, and they're just like chugging down the freeway. Just as a great way to end that amazing car fight, just having such a hobbled together piece of car was hilarious to
That's
me.
pretty great.
I liked once he got his motorcycle in the mall fight, and he decided to ram the one guy, and he's like, you know what? There's too much glass over there. And he just drives through that like 20 feet long glass cabinet with glass dividers in the middle of it. And he drives through the whole thing. And then the guy just kind of moans at the end. I mean, he's not, completely lacerated to death.
All of these people are suffering death by 1,000 cuts. Like, all of them.
Or they just have really tough skin, and they're just, a lot of blunt force trauma.
Well, it's those 80s. It's those 80s suits.
Oh, yeah, all the starch.
All the
is what
starch
saved
and
their
costuming.
Well done, guys. The 80s saved you.
The 80s starch.
All right, my favorite moment, I'm just going for the easy one. It's going to be the final stunt. The pole down through the mall with all the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
It's
Which
fucking
one?
awesome.
Which angle was your favorite?
I like them all, man. They're all good. But honestly, if I had to pick one, I'm going for the low one of him coming down at you. I think it was the last one they show. It would have been the third one.
Yeah.
I can see why they didn't open with that one. You don't get to see as much, but it is pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's an awesome stunt. I'm not sure how many times he had to do it. I'm guessing they couldn't reset that thing too many times. But it's just fucking cool.
Yeah.
And it was just great because, like, as we're watching the movie and we're getting to that point and you see everybody down on the ground floor and you see Jackie Chan kind of perched, I'm like, just jump. We all know you're going to jump. And I haven't seen the movie. I didn't know what stunt was coming, but I'm still like, just jump. I know you're going to jump. Just do it.
Jump,
there he goes.
Jump,
oh, wow.
Jump.
That was pretty cool. And it reminds me of something that's coming up next week when I have the same moment of like, just jump. Oh, look at him jump. Whoa. Oh, he broke his ankle. Anyhow, I'm sure he's fine. He's Jackie Chan.
He's fine.
Double features.
I know mine.
Double feature.
Yeah. The other guys.
Oh, God.
Nice.
There is some overlap with the
Jump,
comedy
jump,
stylings.
jump.
It's a little bit different.
Jump that work, jump that don't.
Aim for the bushes.
I think if you could get Jackie Chan and Mark Wahlberg in a movie together nowadays, they would probably have some decent chemistry if they had to pretend to be cops.
Oh, I could see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just get Mark Wahlberg being his character from the other guys and put him with Jackie Chan. And you have comedy right there.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
I'm going to go a little different. I don't know why this is where my head goes, but I'm going with it anyways. I'm going to say The Departed.
What, because shooting people in the head make you think about breaking glass?
I mean, there's breaking glass, there's headshots, there's very little overlap, but I still think they'd go well together. I don't know why, but the whole time I was watching Police Story and now talking about it, The Departed is the only movie in my head.
Yeah.
I was going to go with
the
Bad
wait,
Boys
what?
2, but I'm sticking with The Departed.
It's the wait what double feature where you're like, wait what? And then you're like, oh, I get it.
I guess that works.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, since we mentioned Buster Keaton earlier, I'm going to go with his 1920 film 1 Week, where he has to build a home from a portable home kit with his new wife. And just the physical comedy of piecing that together and destroying property fits very well with the destroying an entire mall. And just
That is the,
every part is meant to be broken.
That's the movie with the famed wall fall, right?
Yes, and the house that gets spins on its axis during a heavy rainstorm.
Yeah.
And they all get thrown from room to room. Yeah, a lot of throwing things around, breaking of stuff. I feel like it would just be a very destructive double feature that would be delightful.
Oh yeah, that's such a good movie. I haven't seen that since film school, but that is such a good movie. That's it. We've done it. We've police storied.
Yay!
We got 2 more weeks. I can count. 2 more weeks of Jackie Chan coming up. First and foremost will be Rumble in the Bronx. That would be the first Jackie Chan movie I saw. I had to force my parents to rent it because they weren't that interested in it. I didn't know it was dubbed. That really bothered me the whole time. I didn't know what dubbing was. I was like, why are their lips not matching up? I thought it was out of sync. I didn't even know that I had a problem with that then, and now it's my major issue, but I can deal with it. I remember loving Rumble in the Bronx, and I have not watched it since I was a kid, so I'm excited to go back to it. That stunt I was talking about does happen in this movie where he jumps from one building to another and then broke his ankle and then continued to film the rest of the movie because he's fucking crazy.
Oh, man.
At least I think it was during the building jump. It might have been a different jump that he broke his ankle on.
More limber.
Yeah, he's got more movement now. I could be wrong about the stunt where he actually breaks his ankle, but he did film a good chunk of the movie with a fucking broken ankle.
Yeah.
Crazy bastard.
Talented.
Yeah.
Crazy talented.
Yes. Matt might be joining us next week. He says he has slight interest, but it all depends on scheduling. And to be totally honest, and I haven't even told John about this yet, we will have to take 1 week off in between this week and that week because my dad is coming to town and I won't have time to record a podcast. I'm very sorry. I know we just got done with a break and then here we are taking another break, but at least this one will be very, very short, just 1 week. And it's just because I can't schedule. I've been trying to figure it out with my dad, and then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should just enjoy my dad visiting and not worry about scheduling and just deal with the week after. And that's what I'm
gives
doing.
everyone that listens to this some time to work on their yoga.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You gotta,
or finish.
Work on those joints.
Gotta stay limber.
Yeah. Yep. Or finish listening to our Justice League episode. I'm sure you're only like halfway done with that.
Yeah.
Audience.
God, that was a fucking doozy of an episode. Flashbacks. All right, rest of plugs, then we can say goodbye for this show and every other show on the ATH Network. Be sure to check out athpod.com, including Damage Boost, Binge Buddies, where we've been cruising through what we do in the shadows with who, what, when, where, and why we do in the shadows. Mr. Drew Staten over from Demon Days has been joining us, and we've been having a blast, so please come check that out. And if you haven't watched what we do in the shadows, what's wrong with you?
I just finished season 2, so I'm happy to follow along.
It's so good, isn't it?
It's really, really,
Oh,
really,
it's amazing.
Really
Chewy, you're nothing plug right now, right?
No.
John?
Just Demon Days, the show that Drew is on with me, and we're having a great time and up to no good, and it's only gonna get worse for our heroes as time goes on.
Yay!
And by the time you've heard this, there will be some art that we'll be showcasing for our everyone's favorite Bullywug.
Woo!
Yeah.
I did already put it on Reddit, and Reddit I just put on the Venture Brothers Reddit because that's where my character was slightly inspired from. And they were the standard Venture Brothers Reddit, which means a few of them looked at it, they quoted the episode, and then they all moved on.
So they liked it.
I guess that's just kind of the Venture Brothers subreddit goes. Like if you post something from the show, you'll get a few quotes from the show, and then no one talks to you again. It's like, all right, this worked.
Yeah, success.
Nothing else, right? No?
I know, that's it.
All right, so 2 weeks from now, Rumble in the Bronx. I'm so excited for it. Thank you so much for listening, and goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See you later, bozos.